So it has been a pretty darn good week for the housing market. We got a string of upbeat reports showing that the recovery is actually on pretty firm footing. So on Monday, we got news that existing home sales jumped 2% in October from September. And on top of that, home builder sentiment rose to its highest level since 2006. And then just yesterday, we got more good news for builders. Housing starts rising to their highest level since July of 2008. Finally, this morning, we hear that mortgage rates dropped to a brand new record low. The 30-year fixed at 3.31%. They're like giving money away. But even with all this good news, our next guest is still a little cautious. Joining us now, Tanya Marchiol, Team Investments founder and president. Why, Tanya?
Well, we have to remember a lot of things. Even though there's a lot of money out there, this administration really is not pro-home ownership. Through all the debates and everything that we've listened to over the past several months, we really did not hear a lot about housing. And one of the things that I thought was so interesting, because we know how hard it is to get a loan. So I actually did some research on that. And here's the numbers, and this really sums it up. Borrowers approved for conventional loans in October, their average FICO score was a 762. That's nearly perfect. But here's what's even more interesting. The average FICO score for mortgages insured by the FHA was 700. So what happens to all those people who are just coming off of their short sale? We're about at that 3-year mark where they should be buying again, but their credit scores might be a 650, and maybe they're a responsible buyer. They have to loosen up these credit lending limits.
Right, because as it is, 90% of the loans are backed by some government entity at this point. You made a really great point, too, in the housing starts number. Okay, sure, it was up, but it's multifamily units, and that means renters, right? That doesn't mean buyers.
That's exactly right. So that means that we are still along that path to being a renter nation. That home ownership is still a little scary for a lot of people. And even the people, like I said, that are coming off of that short sale way back when and are able to buy again, they're dipping the toes in the water. They're not diving in head first because renting has been easy. So we have to make home ownership exciting and good again for people that can buy.
Interest rates are low. We heard Ben Bernanke the other day give a speech to say basically they're going to be low for a really long time. Do we need to see rates go up to kind of get people off their butt and out there shopping?
No, I disagree with that. I think that we need to leave rates alone. Again, for those people who are just about to get ready to look at the housing market, looking to possibly purchase again for your personal family home. Investors need to dive in these rates. But personal family home buyers, we really need to give them the incentive of these low rates. And I am not a believer in motivating anyone by fear. And I think moving that interest rate up, they're going to go up. That's inevitable. So leave them here for a while. Let people take advantage of the market. Let people take advantage of good interest rates, and let's jumpstart this housing like these numbers are showing.
But it's a double-edged sword, right? Because the banks don't want to lend money at these low rates because they're not going to make any money for 30 years at 3.31%. So maybe you do need them to tick a little for the banks to loosen their lending standards.
No, you're right. It is definitely a double-edged sword, and you just have to figure out what is the best thing to do right now for borrowers. And I think if borrowers could borrow at that 650 credit score, they would pay a little more to be able to buy again. But that 650 credit score is still tough.
Yeah, it sure is. And I tell you, I got a good credit score, and I am still having a tough time trying to refinance. Tanya Marchiol, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks for being here. All right, it is quarter till the hour. Time for stocks as we do every 15 minutes. We head back to Nicole Petalides on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. You're talking Citigroup, aren't you?
I am taking a look here at Citi. I have to say the banking index is to the downside, but let's talk first about Citigroup in particular. We focus so much on Europe and Greece. Now Citigroup says they will close nearly half of its branch network in Greece, and Citi is actually the last international